Jaya Prabhuji. Welcome to the Retroprogressive Yoga Institute. My name is Swami Omkarananda. I am a disciple of Prabhuji since 1997, and in this institute I share my understandings on the teachings of Prabhuji. This is a course on the book Tantra, Liberation in the World, a book that Prabhuji wrote about the tantric wisdom, and it's the third course that we are doing on this book. This will be the fourth class, so if you didn't watch before, I recommend to watch these classes gradually. In this course, we are talking about the Ati Marga. It is a stage in the development of the Hindu wisdom in which some ascetics, some different sects were choosing alternative ways to the divine. And this stage, we call it the pre-tantric stage, because although the revelation was not, didn't descend yet, they did find a very fertile soil with the opening of the spiritual seekers of the Ati Marga. We are now speaking about the Pashu-patas, and in the previous class we talked about the vow, the Pashu-pata vow. I would like to start this class by an analogy that will understand us more the choices of the Pashu-patas. We can compare life to a maze. We enter a maze in order to play, and in the beginning we easily know our path, but purposely we go around, confuse ourselves, forget the path, and enjoy the exploration of the maze, to know the different corners, different options, different paths, the frustration of looking and not finding, and ultimately the joy of finding the way out. Life is very similar. We enter from somewhere at some point, and as we go around life, we go and forget our origin. And then we enjoy exploring the different path of life. But if we are playing this for a few hours, at a certain point, we will start feeling our needs. So what happens if you go lost in a maze and you cannot find a way out? And the hours are passing, and you are tired, and you are hungry, and you are thirsty, and you don't find a way out. It's become more than a play, a nightmare and a frustration. So with all these needs, and we understanding that it's already dark and you need to find a way to survive, you are trapped basically in life, in the maze. So you start putting your energy in finding the way to fulfill your basic needs. So you look for food. And if you find in the maze a corner with food, so you remember this corner because you need to keep coming back when you are hungry. If you find within the maze a source of water, you will memorize very well this location in order to keep coming back every time that you are thirsty. And the day ends and your energy is finished. You need to rest and regain energy for another day of search. So you find a corner which you can feel safe to pass the night. A new day comes. You are renewed energies. You fulfill your basic needs and you engage again in the search of the exit. And you go on and you go on and you go on, and the hours pass and the days pass and you don't find anybody in the maze, and you are lost and you are helpless. And you try and you put all your energy, another day pass. So again, you keep coming back to the source of food, to the source of water, and to the place to sleep. And another day come and you keep looking. What if you find someone in the maze? Do you know the exit? Do you know from where we can go out? He said, no, I am as lost as you. And keep searching, he search, you search. But then what happens if you find another person as lost as everybody else and another person, and the resources in the maze are limited. So now the survival mechanisms start kicking in. Well, I need to accumulate, I need to hide my food, I need to fight for my food, I need to defend the limit of my maze. I will put my territory within the maze. In this territory is the place I sleep, so I need safety. I need so don't pass through here. So the other people keep looking for the exit, but no, this path is closed because it's my territory, and if you go inside my territory, I will attack you, and then conflicts begin. This is what we call the society that everybody try to accumulate for his own needs, and whoever has the resources has the power. So if the food that I was keeping is over, necessary to survive, I will need to go to someone else and ask for resources. So then every relation becomes transactional. What I can give you, what do you need? If you have the resources, you will be the one that can demand from the other one, either physically or emotionally. And if you are the one in need, so you will be the one that needs to give. And then all this maze of life becomes a nightmare. But what happened? That we forget what we're here to do. First, we forget that it's a game that is supposed to be fun, supposed to be an adventure of discovering. I enter voluntarily to go lost. But second, my energies are so much busy in surviving that I even forget to find the exit. And the maze, is not my home. This is a game within my home, but my home is outside. This is not a natural position to be limited, to be in conflict, to be in surviving. This is not my natural position. So coming back to the Pashu-patas. The Pashu-patas were ascetics who entered this maze of life and didn't forget that 1, it's a game, 2, it's temporal, 3, all the efforts should be engaged in finding the exit, what we call liberation in spiritual terms, moksha in Sanskrit. So the purpose is to find the exit, and every day pass by, I need to be engaged in that, because this is what we are here to do, and nothing in the maze can satisfy my need to go out of this, because this is an unbearable situation, and there is not such a thing, a pleasurable maze or an enjoyable maze. The very fact of being limited, trapped, lost, forgotten, in forgetfulness, that's the misery. So what will help me if I put all my energy in fulfilling my needs? I need to be able to minimize the energy that I put in fulfilling my needs. So let's go over the Pashu-pata vrata, the Pashu-pata vow, and see the different components with this analogy. Pashu-pata vow. 1. Ahimsā, non-violence. The Pashu-pata understand that if I'm trapped in the maze of life with other individuals, that they are in the same situation, suffering as much as I am suffering, so what will help me to fight with them, to make them enslaved from me? The way is the way of non-violence, because it takes two to make a conflict, and if one is able to lower the defenses, so the conflict cannot take place. And the Pashu-patas were the ones who said, I will not fight back. I will be surrendered to the divine that will take care of my needs. And if my needs will be not fulfilled, so I will accept gracefully the will of the divine. And the magic is that as Pashu-pati, Shiva takes care of every individual, every living being in the planet. I want to be one of those who is governed not by my will or my greed, but my Lord, by Pashu-pati. 2. Satya, truthfulness. First, truthfulness towards myself. What I really want, I need to ask myself and answer sincerely, because all what is instinctive in me wants to survive in the maze. But what I really want is to go out. And if I am sincerely looking at my heart, I will understand that nothing in the maze can make me happy. The situation is just unbearable. So why to put my energies in make for myself a name, a position within the maze? I need to be true and loyal to my true need, which is the need for going out of it. Now, truthfulness towards others, because we are all in the same situation, and the conflict between us is not helping, it's making our defense mechanism even stronger, so we all get more stuck in this maze. So if I am truthful and I am peaceful, I can cooperate with others to make the situation more bearable, and from the cooperation, maybe together to find a way out. This is the vow that the Pashu-patas took upon themselves. 3. Asteya, non-stealing. The situation is hard as it is for everyone. And then if we don't have some moral or ethics rules, that we at least keep this less chaotic, so our chance to find the exit go and diminishes. So we need to take it easy between us and to be united and to understand that the human suffering is not my suffering, is the human suffering as every human. So we can, as human, not increase. We can increase and we can decrease. Whoever deals with human relationship knows that it can be a paradise, can help in life, or can be a nightmare, can make my life impossible if I have bad relationships. So the importance of being truthful and being not violent and not stealing from others. So this will make at least the cooperation needed to go out. And you know what we need is just to keep focus on the moksha, on liberation. So all these things are a distraction. If I am in conflict, if I am busy with my possessions, so it takes my energy away from what I need to keep focus, and it's easy to forget the purpose of going out, because things are distracting and things are overwhelming. So the Pashu-pata seeks to keep himself out of this madness and to save the energy for liberation. 4. Brahmacarya, celibacy. Prabhuji translates this vow as the acharya of Brahman, the way of Brahman. The way of Brahman is the way of looking for Brahman. And the Brahmacharya is translated as celibacy because I will not let my sexual urge define my actions, because the urge is so powerful that controls my decisions and makes me forget the purpose that I am here in the maze in order to play, in order to learn, in order to explore, in order to discover and to joyfully find the way out. But if I'm here in order to, if I forgot, I am lost, I am overwhelmed, I am in conflict with others, and not only that, my sexual urge demand and determine my actions, and therefore I exploit others and I lie to others to make them available to my satisfaction. So this is not to be busy with liberation. Therefore, the Pashu-patas choose to be completely out of this, not to engage in any intercourse, not in any relationship, and not to establish a family, because the family, for them, it was a distraction from looking for the way out. 5. Aparigraha, non-possession. Of course, if I need to keep and accumulate within the maze whatever resources I have in order to have for tomorrow, look at the absurdity. Instead of putting all my energy looking the way out, and then I will not need to accumulate for tomorrow. No, my energy is to find a corner where I can defend, and here those are my resources. Then you don't put your time in looking. You need to fight with others to defend what you accumulate, and anyways, what you want is to go out. So whatever is inside the maze is just so limited that will never ever give you happy. Outside the maze, you have so much more resources. So you are looking to keep just to survive another day, and then you forget what we are here for. 6. Śauca, purity. So this vow is the purity, of course, of the body, but also the purity of the egoism. When everybody in the maze is looking for its own interests and blocking the way to others to go out, so everybody suffers, everybody stays inside, and no one finds the way out. So the egoism is to take care only of myself, and this is a very strong and animalistic tendency. Myself and my tribe, this is more developed, myself and my country. So this is the basic instinct feeling that when I am weak, when I have loyal partners, I am stronger. So it's very instinctive. So many of our relationships are not based on love, but based on whatever is beneficial for my safety. And this is how we accumulate around us, looking for the sense of security. The purity is, in a way, the innocence of the Pashu-pata that want to be defenseless, helpless, and by this contribution, by this attitude, if everybody will take this attitude, so they stay in the maze will be less unbearable, and we will find in the other, with the other, how to liberate. 7. Tapas, austerity. Austerity is a big part of the Pashu-pata vow and of many other spiritual traditions. In this maze example, tapas is to say, yes, I have many needs, but I have one need above all, which is to go out of this. Then everything inside will not give me the satisfaction that I want, so I will restrain and refrain from engaging in all type of worldly, mazely, we can call it, engagement. Not because they are necessarily sinful, but because it takes my energy and my focus, and I want to take all my attention to find my connection to the divine, to find the liberation of my maze. I miss not what is inside. What is inside I'm not looking for. I miss what is outside, what is unlimited, what is unrestrained. And therefore the tapas, the restraint of all whatever in me is engaged in the animalistic or instinctive satisfaction. 8. Īśvara-praṇidhāna, devotion or surrender to God. Īśvara-praṇidhāna. The Pashu-patas were bhaktas. They were devotees of Shiva in his form of Rudra or Pashu-pati. And they, being trapped in the maze of life, they understood that I cannot solve it. I don't have enough air view to see all the different paths and different corners. And with the mess of what is going around, I only can pray because Shiva looks at everything from above, and he put me here. He wants to teach me something here. I will try to learn whatever I can. Only he can take me out from this situation. So this is the belief of the Pashu-pata, that they are more engaged. Instead of supplying all their needs, they are more engaged in praying, devotion, worship, and begging for a way to go out of this, understanding and never forgetting that this is the purpose, and hoping to please Shiva in the way that he said, you know what, seems that you had enough. Everybody here is so entertained, looking, trying to solve this. When you understand that, no, this is not the way, no, this is not the purpose, and you are calling for the divine connection, you are already going, your consciousness is out of the maze, and you are reconnected to the one who put you here. So the way that the Pashu-patas believe that Shiva sent his grace is by the spiritual master, which is one who knows very well the maze. He walked the path, and from outside he feels in depth for those who are inside. He feels pity for them, and he go into the maze. And whoever is ready, he is ready to guide them to the way out. The thing is that by everybody being so engaged in the dramas of the maze, we don't always recognize the ones that can guide us. And there might be also false guides that tell us that he knows the way and we might surrender, but was another trick, and we are more lost than before, with less resources and more frustrated. So this is also possible. In the maze, everything goes, as you see, it's the jungle. But if you're really sincerely enough, like I had enough, means that you have certain understanding, and if the guide recognizes this in you, will be able to guide you. But it will not be without difficulties, because we are accustomed to the maze so many months and years within, and we will need to put our trust and be able to follow, which means to give up whatever I accumulate so far and get out. Of course, we have the promise, we have the hope, but not always the experience. Therefore, in the Pashu-pata vow, which was so demanding, it was really for very serious seekers, the guide, the spiritual master, was only ready to initiate seekers that he recognized that the devotion to Rudra awoke in them, and Rudra is calling them out. There is a connection already, there is a sincere aspiration for the higher taste, for the taste of being out of the maze, and they already see in these very difficult vows that for regular people will be almost impossible to follow, they can easily go through them because of their understanding and the level of realization. So in this way, we follow the master that not without difficulty, with many years of getting used to, he might show us the way out, and then we cannot go out of the maze instead of us, but can point to the exit. And if we are really ready to give up before, and we are really eager for our true nature, our liberated nature, so we'll have the courage to leave the maze. The Pashu-patas worship Pashu-pati. Pashu is beast, Pati is Lord. So they worship their Lord, because we all are Pashus, we are sentient beings governed by the only Lord, but also meaning that we need to conquer the beast in us, the Pashu in us, the instinctive level from which we live. So we can see the vow that they took, that they're aiming to restrain the 4 basic needs of every animal, which are eating, sleeping, defense, and reproduction. So we can see that Asteya, non-stealing, they committed not to steal food from others or anything valuable from others. Everything needs to be given to them. Aparigraha, no possession, they cannot accumulate resources. So these 2 vows restrain their urge for eating and put them in a very vulnerable and humble position that they need to beg for their food. So they need to be reliable on the mercy of the Lord, giving the resources that Mother Nature gives, and the other human beings that they can nourish. They used to beg for food, and within, of course, there were some detractors, but in general they were respected, because it was clear that the choice that they made, it was a brave choice, that they were saintly human beings, and they also were healers, and they had supernatural powers that they were able to help others by their sanctity. So they were completely relying on Pashu-pati for their basic need of eating, sleeping or resting. Okay, they perform several austerities, and fasting or depriving of sleep. Those were some of the many different austerities that they perform with the body, and we will learn later on. Defense, survival, Ahimsā, non-violence, Satya, truthfulness. Those are vows that the ability of the human being to defend himself is through violence, and we see in the modern world how engaged people are in attacking and defending, in conflict. It takes only one to say, I'm not following the path of violence, and then the defenselessness and taking any consequences of these defenselessness put them only under the protection of their Lord. And finally, reproduction, the path of celibacy. Yes, reproduction makes us very eager to engage with the relationship with the other gender. And this is a lot of energy, and afterwards a lot of energy to take responsibility over a family. So although they didn't condemn their way of life, the very few that they were able to engage in this type of life, they are saving their energies solely for the devotion. So it's not that they were cold individuals and detached. They were attached to Pashu-pati. They were loving and they were crazy for Pashu-pati. That was the source of all their satisfaction. So those who in the heart were chosen for this path, so they also found the energy and the connection to Pashu-pati, which is an eternal relationship. Those were the ascetics of the Ati-marga. Ati-marga is the original path, the direct path to the divine. Those were bhaktas, were devotees of Shiva, very passionate devotees that were ready to go and undertake whatever it takes to find their reconnection to the divine. And from that devotion, they nourished the power and the energy to keep going in life of difficulty in the physical level. But they found the connection in which everything else became very, very secondary. So in that sense, they're so admirable. But we call this stage the pre-tantric stage, because in the Tantra, this asceticism was re-evaluated. It was so kept for those who were able to undertake this type of life, that the spirituality or the liberation was not offered or was not taught or available to others who couldn't choose the path of asceticism. So the Tantra took these ascetic practices and transformed them in the way of the tantric ritual, which is a powerful ritual that is comparable to the power of the ascetic life. And in this way, they open the option of the liberation to also married people or people that couldn't undertake the vow of the Pashu-patas. In this way, Prabhuji explains it. Tantrikas control their desires, but without suffocating or atrophiating their passion, just as the lion tamer does not kill the lion. The Sanskrit word Pashu means beast or animal, and Pati means master. Pashu-pati is one of Lord Shiva's holy names that refers to the master of animal or bestial instinct. In fact, Tantrikas sublimate their animal energy and ultimately transcend it. Prabhuji. So the very, very special path of the Tantra acknowledges the beast in us, the animal is in us. Of course, they had the inheritance of their previous ascetic sects that create the conditions to give birth to this revelation. But they said, must be another way, because this lion in me has energy. And if I kill him, so I kill the animal, but also I kill something from the life that flows through me. I have a path that might be more demanding. Instead of running away or keeping myself aside of all the worldly temptations, what if I will find Shakti within the world? And Shakti is the dynamic aspect of Shiva. So if I be able to use this energy to liberate, I will sublimate it instead of suffocating it, then I will be able to elevate myself to liberation. And it was so true, so powerful, that the tantric revelation expanded rapidly like a wildfire all over India, creating more and more enlightened beings, sampradayas, lineages, scriptures, revelations, techniques, rituals, and liberated souls. So the path that we are going through in this book, Prabhuji walks us through, is to learn very deeply what were the principles of the Atimarga. And of course, Atimarga sects continue for a while in parallel to the Tantric revelation, but the Tantrikas took this a step forwards, giving the option for the revelation to come down and enrich the life of so many. So we will finish here now, and we will continue studying specifically about this choice of the Pashu-pata, of the path of asceticism and austerities. Thank you, Prabhuji, for walking us through this unbelievable revelation, and I'm sure we can get enriched from the spirit of these serious seekers and pray as they prayed for the grace of Shiva. We pray to show us the way, and we are thankful for sending guides into the maze that know the way out and can point. But as you know, Prabhuji doesn't push us out, doesn't take us on his shoulders, but it needs to be our understanding, just pointing out, and we need to do the effort to choose this. And in order to choose this, we need to understand what is our real problem. So thank you very much, and we will meet in the next class. Jaya Prabhuji.